object of this video is to give some history regarding the items sent to troops during the first 20 years of the 20th century in an attempt to lift their morale. I will endeavour to give some background to the items, how to identify the differences and try and dispel some of the misconceptions and fanciful information which is used by sellers to say their item is extremely rare and worth the ridiculous asking prices. The first item will be the Queen Victoria's Boer War chocolate tin, 1900. The first tin was manufactured by Hudson Scott and Sons of Carlisle for George Cadbury and is the smaller of the three tins, so it's easily recognisable. The tin contained 12 bars of chocolate in 2 layers. On the chocolate can be seen the impressed name of George Cadbury. The next tin is a Roundtree tin, manufactured by Barringer Wallace and Manners Limited of Mansfield, and like the Cadbury tin, run to 40,000 items. It can be identified, if the chocolate's been eaten, by the dark Prussian blue border, and if we look in the bottom right hand corner, Queen Victoria's signature is slightly askew to the border, so it's one way of telling who manufactured the tin. The last of the 3 tins was from Joseph Storrs Fry, and it was manufactured by Barclay Fry of Southwark, London, and like the other 2 tins, run to a production run of 40,000. If the chocolate's been eaten, you can identify it by the blue band around the outside is slightly lighter than the Roundtree tin, and Queen Victoria's signature in the bottom right hand corner runs parallel with the border. So that's the way of identifying the Fry tin. Queen Victoria paid out of her own purse for the manufacture of the tins. It cost her about 3.5 pence in old money, and the chocolate was provided free by the chocolate manufacturers. As they were all Quakers, they didn't want to be seen to support the war effort, so they gave the chocolate free of charge. But the Queen insisted that the troops knew they were getting the best possible chocolate, so she wanted the name of the manufacturers on the tins. The compromise was that they put their name on the bars of chocolate. At the start of the war, Rudyard Kipling wrote a poem, The Absent-Minded Beggar, and gave the royalties to the Soldiers' Families Fund. Sir Arthur Sullivan set the poem to music, and in the first week of the fund, over £70,000 had been raised. The poem and the symbol of the lone soldier appear on many items like matchboxes, ashtrays, pots and plates. One of the more common items to be collected is the absent-minded beggar's handkerchief, sold by the Daily Mail newspaper with all the profits going to the fund. The handkerchief is large by today's standards, but it's just normal for the cotton one for the time. It has Kipling's poem, the musical score by Sir Arthur Sullivan, a map of South Africa, and the image of Queen Victoria and Bobbs Roberts, all printed in blue ink. They are reasonably obtainable, but may have some staining due to 120 years plus of storage. I've seen one being offered by a dealer describing it as a scarf because it's so large, and saying it's very rare and charging over £300 for it. He could not accept it was a large hanky. The next tin is from the Scottish Regiments Fund. It amounted to 20,000 tins of plug tobacco and 20,000 pipes being sent to the troops in South Africa during mid-1900. The tin consisted of 4 plugs of Yankee plug tobacco from F&J Smith. It had a card inside saying it was presented to the Scottish Soldiers of South Africa by the Scottish Regiments Fund. I've not been able to find any example of the pipes sent in any Scottish museum. The one in my collection is dated to 1900, and with the tins being delivered mid-1900, might have been of the type sent. The Devonshire Regiment Tobacco Gift Tin 1901. This is an extremely rare tin sent to the 1st and 2nd Battalions in South Africa from the 3rd and 4th Battalions, Christmas 1901. The tin was manufactured by Reed Brothers of Liverpool and contained tobacco from Richmond Cavendish & Co. of Liverpool. Little information exists of how many tins were manufactured, but the assumption is it's in the region of about 2,000. Unfortunately, the Regimental Museum has so far not replied to any inquiries on the subject. The next item is also rare and relatively unknown tin. Queen Alexandra wanted to emulate the late Queen Victoria, who had died in the previous year. She wanted to send a gift of chocolate to serving personnel in South Africa for Christmas 1902. The Queen approached Joseph Rowntree and Son to manufacture the tins and supply the chocolate. The tins had been manufactured and the chocolate had started to be filled when peace was declared on May the 31st, 1902. At Christmas 1902, the Queen held a dinner for the widows and children of men that had been killed during the War of 1899-1902 in South Africa. At the dinner, the widows were presented with a tin of chocolate and the children were given toys as a gift. It's estimated that the number of tins that were available were in the region of 800, so they're extremely rare. The tin's design can also be found on a slightly larger tin which was sold during the coronation in 1902, and the difference is that just under the crown it has the coronation. So it's a larger tin and not to be confused with this extremely rare one.